Happy premature May the 4th. We're, in honor of Star Wars, going to be ranking the Queen herself's entirely huge collection of outfits. We're going to be doing a little fun little silly tier list of every one of Padme's outfits. Note, this is not every one of Padme's outfits. I'm pretty sure I missed a couple, so I'm not going to promise that this is every single Padme outfit. This is most of her outfits, at least. So, to do this, we're going to be doing a standard tier list. We have S tier, we have A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier, which I think should be called F tier, but is D tier. So, for this, I found all of Padme's obviously like her prequel live action outfits, and then I also tried my best to double back around to the 2008 Clone Wars series, and then also double back around to the 2003 Clone Wars mini-series. I also have a fun little bonus round of sorts. That's going to be some, not all, some of her concept art, some unused concept art. So without further ado, we're going to just go right into it. So that means we're starting with this number from the 2003 Clone Wars series. Now, I am not a fan of the 2003 Clone Wars series. I've tried, I just don't like it. So I will admit off the bat that I don't have a ton to say about these outfits. I don't have any attachment to them. The animation style means that they're, for Padme standards, very simple. So I'm going to just put this in C tier, because it's pretty, but like there's nothing really remarkable or special about it in my opinion. There's also going to be a couple of like, not dupes, but like kind of the same thing, just because different mediums did different things with her, or there's different variations of the costume. So next we have one of her Attack of the Clones outfits. This is the version where she has a shawl on, and I like this version better. So, but I don't like this dress, so we're gonna put it in B tier. And I'm actually just gonna go straight down to this one. This is a beautiful dress. I strongly dislike it though, after knowing that Natalie Portman was very uncomfortable in it, and knowing that it was like basically just made for men to be like, wow, Natalie Portman's so hot. So for me, this goes in D tier. And the reason the other one goes in B tier is just because by adding that shawl, it like literally just makes it kind of takes away some of the power that this dress has as like a sex appeal dress, so I like it better. Next we have one of her Clone Wars fits. This is concept art, but this is basically just what she wore in the episode, the season 5 finale arc, where she's kind of helping Ahsoka, who has been framed for terrorism. So this episode is pretty boring, but like it's not like offensively bad, so that means it's going in C tier, I think. Next we have this episode 2 outfit. This is a very pretty sort of peacock. I just realized too, there's like in a weird way, this kind of resembles her funeral dress in a little bit. I think this is a very pretty dress. It's not very Padme though. I feel like A tier should be reserved for things that are like very Padme, so I think this is going in B tier for like the opposite reasons of the other dress, where this is so flowy and pretty. Here is an episode 3 dress. I believe this is the dress she's wearing when she tells Anakin she's pregnant. I could be mistaken. I think I know my stuff, but maybe I don't know my stuff. So this dress is fine. It's very pretty, like the detailing on it, but looking at it, like it's not really anything special. It's kind of boring, so I think it's gonna go in C tier. This is Padme's this is one of Padme's like disguise outfits, where she's she was dressed as like one of her pilots. She was one of the pilots. So literally speaking, this is like, not very impressive or special. I'm gonna put it in D tier just because it's not like it's like an ugly outfit, but like it's just so generic and kind of boring. Here is one of Padme's more iconic, I would say, fits in terms of like iconography. Like this is like her Senate attire, so I feel like it's pretty important. Personally, I'm putting this in A tier because of that. Like it's definitely one of those things where this is just one of those dresses that I think kind of gets referenced a lot. In the Clone Wars, they kind of use this as a template for a bunch of her costumes, because she's obviously a senator first most. And I think it's just, like, it has, like, a very, like, the fun, weird headpiece thing is cool. The fun, like, it's very, like, pretty. Honestly, that's pretty cool work attire. This is one of Padme's, like, travel cloaks. There's not much to say about it, so I'm putting it in C tier. Again, C tier doesn't mean, like, oh, it's ugly. It's mostly just like, oh, it's kind of boring, or it's not that remarkable. I would argue that there's only going to be a very slim amount of these that I actually feel like, oh, this is kind of, like, ugly. Overall, Padme has such a pretty wardrobe. So here is this dress, which I just think is really pretty, so I'm putting it in A tier. This dress is one of the Revenge of the Sith dresses. It's one of her, like, I'm sad dresses. This is what she's wearing when Obi-Wan, like, tries to confront her with, like Anakin has turned to the dark side, and she's like, no, he wouldn't do that. Again, it's very pretty, but it kind of has the same problem, I think, as this purple dress she wore in Revenge of the Sith, where it's just kind of bland. So here's Padme's, like, Geonosis outfit. Now, I have very mixed feelings about this. I strongly dislike that they did the whole, like, oh, she was attacked by the Nexu, and it conveniently made her bodysuit into a crop top. I don't like that. But I do like the outfit, and I just like that Padme has, like, a very fun, like, battle gear. I do like that, I assume this was the intention, it kind of hits, like, the same notes as, like, Princess Leia's, like, plain, like, they're both just wearing, like, a white outfit, but I choose to believe that there's something to be said about that. This is another one of Padme's sort of, like, battle gear outfits. I like this one a lot. So I'm putting it in A tier, just because this is my list and I can. This is Padme's, like, this is like the Clone Wars version of Padme's Senate dress. And for me, I have a lot of, like, attachment to it just because I grew up watching the Clone Wars. So, like, this is one of Padme's, like, main costumes in the Clone Wars. Though she also has an animated version of the, like, episode 2 Senate dress. So I'm gonna put it in B tier just because it's not, like, that remarkable, but I do like it a lot. So moving on, we have one of her Queen Amidala looks. This dress, I'm aware now as an adult that there's at least a decent amount of people out there who criticize the Queen Amidala looks, especially because they, you could really make an argument that they're appropriating different Asian, like, traditional garb or royal garb. I don't really have enough in me to want to comment on that, so I am just going to kind of note that. I don't really know what's, like, how to feel about that, or really what's the appropriate response to something like that, because ultimately, in my opinion at least, I can really appreciate then the actual fashion that these dresses were inspired by, that the makeup was inspired by, and I can still appreciate that this was a beautiful garment that they, like, a costume team designed and created and slaved over, because the Queen Amidala dresses are so, like, intricate and detailed. But I do understand, and obviously I'm not really in the position to speak to whether or not this is, like, bad. I'm not sure how to feel about that. With that said, I'm gonna put this one in B tier because I think that there's better Queen Amidala looks. In fact, here's one that I like better right here. I just think that this one's really pretty. Like, again, it's not a favorite of mine, but I like it more than this one. But I think I'm gonna put this one in B tier too. Oh, so here's Padme's, I forgot if I had an image. I have the Clone Wars version of this costume, so I'm just gonna throw it in A tier right next to it. So, okay, you can kind of see that they're different, but I'm just gonna leave it there. This is a very pretty dress that she wore in the Clone Wars. This was a, like, one-off episode, I think, where she, like, just had this really pretty purple dress. And I think it deserves to be up here, personally. Now this is just my opinion. I'm putting this in S tier. I love this dress so much. I feel like, too, it's just very, like, memorable. It's very pretty. The impact that this dress has in my day-to-day life, as just going around to stores, anytime I see a sunset color scheme, anytime I see, like, an ombre with, like, one of these colors in it, like, the amount of times that, like, my husband and I, like, see, like, an ombre dress and it's like, oh, Padme, it's like Padme's dress. Like, it's iconic. I love it. This is one of Padme's, like, traveling dresses, or it's her packing dress. And I personally I'm a sucker for this one. I think it's really pretty. So I'm kind of putting it up here in A tier. We have one of the 2003 Clone Wars dresses, though it's really just a robe, so I'm sorry. I don't have much to say about that. I think this is very pretty. I didn't realize, like I didn't fully realize until finding all these pictures for this that Padme has like just straight up like 5 different nightgowns throughout these movies. Like, she has a ton of costumes, obviously, like, aside from that, but, like, it is weird how many nightgowns she has specifically. I think this is one of my favorites, though, so I'm gonna put it in B tier. This is probably one of my favorite of the 2003 Clone Wars. I'm definitely putting it up here. Next is this dress, which is, again, another one of the more fun dresses, in my opinion, from the Clone Wars. I'm gonna put it here, though. I just don't like the art style. That's always been my hang-up with this series, is like, I just don't like it, and I know that's a very unpopular opinion. I'm putting this in D tier. I really like the hair on this, but literally speaking, the costume is not very remarkable. This is one of Padme's traveling gear. I like this one a lot. We're gonna put it in B tier. We're gonna put it up here. This is the Clone Wars version of the Geonosis gear, which Padme wears in the Clone Wars movie. She wears it a little bit in season 1 of the Clone Wars, and then I don't think we ever see it again. Unfortunately, I can't put this, I don't think it would be right to put this in A tier, just because ultimately it's like a cloak. I'm kind of just letting this impact my feelings towards like the scene. Like, this is such an iconic little like moment, so this is how Liberty dies, with thunderous applause. Like, it's kind of like a famous thing. I'm gonna put it here, though. That feels fine. This is like low-key what Padme dies in. A tier. Not because she dies, but because it's like a fun outfit. It's like fun seeing her in pants again after like so long. This is like the Clone Wars version of the sexy black dress, and I like it a lot more. So it's going up here. This dress is going straight to S tier. It's very pretty. It's so pretty. I love this dress. So this is my other favorite nightgown. This is going up there. This is a wildly impractical nightgown, by the way, guys. Like, I don't know how you would sleep in like in theory, it's like a silk dress, so it's like, I'm sure that's very comfortable, but like, it looks like it's multiple layers, maybe it's not, but it looks like it's got a lot of layers. The back has like this like draping cascade, which again, like, depending on how like thick and like heavy the dress is, I feel like that might be very uncomfortable. And then it has a bunch of like the beads on this. It's gorgeous, completely impractical. A man designed this dress. This nightgown is going down here because it's basically just like a white sack. Oh, is this the dress she wore telling Anakin she's pregnant? See, this is the issue. Like, I can't tell these apart. Oh, I think this is. I like this one less, but I like the Leia buns, so I'm gonna put it back here. Here's Padme wearing this dress that I like, but in like Clone Wars animation, where actually I kind of like it more just because the Clone Wars animation lets you see some of the details that like you literally cannot see on the original dress. So moving on, we have another 2003 Clone Wars dress that I don't like. Sorry. This dress was only used in promotional images for Revenge of the Sith. I have such mixed feelings about this because in theory for Padme, this is not a good dress. Like, this is a very strange thing. Like, the weird, like, just like the full like head of beads, like, that's not very Padme at all. And the color scheme is like weirdly not Padme either. But like, as a costume, I think this is so cool looking and I really like it. I feel like I should put it in D tier. Not because it's not gorgeous, but because it's just so like un-Padme. Then we have this dress, which is, I don't care, it's going in A tier. I love this. This is like, I'd wear this. Like, this is like almost fashionable. We have this dress, which is basically just the this outfit, but in Clone Wars animation. So it's like slightly different, but it's basically just that outfit. This outfit is so cool. I am putting this right behind this other one. They're very similar. So this outfit is actually from a deleted scene, but it lives rent-free in my mind, so we're including it. This is Padme's more practical version of this nightgown, but I don't like it as much, so we're gonna put it here. She's got like sleeves, like opera sleeves almost. Like, it's weird that it's such an interesting thing that they made these like strange costumes for her. Here's a Clone Wars outfit that I don't love, I don't hate. It's gonna go straight in B tier. This like sort of middle of the road category that is enormous. This is the outfit Padme wears in the Clone Wars episode Heroes on Both Sides. She takes Ahsoka across enemy lines to meet the Bonteris, who are a separatist family. I love this episode. This is not like a great outfit. It's kind of like Padme's. It's another one of her like travel and like kind of under in disguise outfits. So that's fair, I guess. But I'm gonna put it like here. Next is this Queen Amidala outfit, which I don't like that much actually. Like I'm looking at it and it's like I don't actually care for it that much. I really like the like Renaissance type head thing. It makes me think of like a Twi'lek because it's Star Wars, but like I actually kind of like that, but then altogether I don't like it. I have been waiting for this dress. This dress, I have to scroll up some more. Okay, we're gonna do this in parts. It's not like scrolling. This dress is going to S tier because it's iconic and it's so just pretty and the detailing on it is like so extravagant. We're gonna put this red. I call this the crab dress because it kind of like her hair and the red make me think of like Mr. Krabs. I don't like it that much. Like the more I look at it, the less I like it. I'm gonna put it here. No, I'm gonna put it here. Here is a fun Clone Wars dress. This is like the best picture I could find of it, but it's gonna go into like C tier, I think. I think that's a good, healthy spot. This is Padme's infamous like snow bunny costume, and I say infamous to mean when I was a kid, this costume had a grip. I think on horny men, but I've seen this costume so much, despite the fact like it's from the 2003 Clone Wars show, and then like some comics maybe. Ultimately, this is like the winter version of her just other bodysuit, but because of the associations that I have with it and gross men on the internet, it's going straight to D tier. Okay, we don't need to discuss this. This dress is going straight to S tier because it's gorgeous and it's, I think, a lot of people's favorites, including mine. In fact, now that we're at the bottom here, I feel like, oh, here's the snow bunny dress. Picture again. This is another dress that I have a huge attachment to, so I'm kind of just gonna drag it up. I have loved this dress. I remember so vividly watching like the behind the scenes costumes video. I don't know, like I don't remember what it's called, but this behind the scenes like costume video and having the ladies there explaining how this dress, which is in one scene in one movie, required them to like hand dye like thousands of silk petals so that they could make this gorgeous petal cloak that she's going to wear for one scene at the very end of the movie. Like that just blows my mind. It's incredible to me. I just know how much work went into these and that makes me just love them so much more. Next we have Padme's travel outfit, which I actually like a lot. I'm gonna be honest. There's something just about, obviously like the headpiece is a little silly looking, but it's so pretty. Like the detailing on it, the colors, like I really like this outfit on her. So this is Padme's like Clone Wars outfit. I feel like this should go in A tier just because it's, for the Clone Wars, it's like fairly iconic, I think. Or like, it's not iconic, but like, I feel like this is just such a recognizable thing for like from the Clone Wars, which I think makes it kind of fun. This dress is really cool looking, but it doesn't feel very Padme. Like, it's more severe than I think Padme typically is. But I do like a lot of the details. So I think I'm gonna kind of slip it up here just because I like a lot of the details. Next is this dress from the Clone Wars, which is very pretty, but for Padme it's just so simple, so I'm kind of going to slip it down here. Next is this other simple dress from Padme, which I'm going to kind of slide up here, but it's basically like just, it's a little bit more like bedazzled, but like it's very simple and basic. There's this number that Padme wears in the Clone Wars, which I have a lot of mixed feelings about. I almost feel like it's their attempt at sort of like a Naboo, like Nubian, like fashion, which is compelling. So I think I'm gonna put it up here, but it doesn't really feel like a Padme outfit. It feels like a weird thing to see Padme wearing. So then next we have this Queen Amidala look, which I think should go in A tier. It's not on the level of the other dress, but the details in it are so pretty and ornate. Padme's wedding dress, I have mixed feelings about. I'm actually putting it in A tier and not S tier because it's very pretty, but like it's not my favorite of her looks. And I realize like the context obviously is key for this. Like it's their secret wedding. It's like the real Padme. It's supposed to be very simple, and obviously it's still a very gorgeous dress. It just feels like I would have liked some more like fun details or more extravagance from Padme. This woman like goes to pack for a trip wearing like crinoline skirt. Like it just seemed weird. It's like kind of anticlimactic in a way. Last but least, this is what Padme is dead in, and I'm putting it in S tier because it's just that closing shot of her is so pretty. It's so sad, but like it's such a pretty gown. I'm a sucker for that, like just the vibe it gives off. So now we're going to pivot into some concept art as like a fun little bonus speed run. Now this is funny and kind of extra, partly because one of my favorite things about Padme's wardrobe is that they made so many designs for her and a ton went unused. But the nice thing about Star Wars is sometimes for other like later projects, they will literally just bring back unused concept art. So for example, Padme has had like at least three different unused concept arts be used for other characters. So first we have this, which I love, but it's very not Padme. So I'm gonna put it in C tier, but like know that that means that I love it and it's a really cool design. But I think especially like the detail of like the bird makes me think like this does not register in my brain as like a Padme thing. Then we have this, which is I think really pretty. But again, it kind of doesn't like work in my mind. But like this image harkens to like maybe like a different Queen of Naboo because it has that like the imagery there and like the vibe, but like it doesn't feel like Padme. This outfit I'm putting up in A tier because I think it's just really pretty looking. This feels a little bit more like Queen Amidala, or like it kind of feels like a cross between like a Queen Amidala silhouette and like some of those like Clone Wars, Revenge of the Sith type, like more like structured, reserved looks. So I like it. We have this, which is going in S tier because I think it's gorgeous. Am I biased? Yes. This one is going in A tier because you'll notice that it's like more than one design really, but in my opinion, it's really pretty and cool, and I like the bottom design as like maybe like the handmaiden like outfit that would match with it, or maybe Padme like in disguise. I think both are really pretty though. This is unfortunate, again, for the same reason that this is down here. I feel like I have to put this kind of lower just because it doesn't feel like a Padme dress, but it's very pretty. It's giving peacock, or it's giving like iridescent bird. This is just a fun draft. Like you'll notice that this is like a way more like flirty looking like young woman concept for Padme, which I think is really cool to see. And it's just like, I just really like this art style. I'm kind of biased in that sense too. This is also going in A tier because it's very, very pretty. It kind of harkens back to that like the gorgeous like Cuomo dress that she wears, or like kind of has that vibe of some of her more like sensual dresses, but like in a more like feminine, like light way, which I like. This dress is going down here just because it doesn't feel like Padme, but it feels very pretty. Actually, no, it's gonna go down here because of that. It feels more like Padme than this one though, so sorry. So these are gonna go kind of in the middle. The right one is very obviously feels like another draft of like the sexy dress she wears in Attack of the Clones, and it has the same silhouette as some of those other like Tatooine dresses she actually, or like those two-piece outfits she does wear and in the deleted scene. But the one on the left is like more of like this really pretty like Art Nouveau, like Nouveau style illustration, but it's a little less Padme. Next is this dress, which I'm a sucker for, but ever since I saw it, I have coded it as like for Duchess Satine instead. Like there's something about like I think the color and the fact that like the hair is not colored in that makes me think Duchess Satine instead. So for me, like this does not work for Padme at all. This dress is really pretty. It kind of feels like that one really structured dress she has in Revenge of the Sith, where it doesn't really feel like a Padme dress. I'm pretty sure, is this not like, you have such a small pee-pee? Is this not like a Bail Organa's wife's like dress. Am I off, or is that like not the basis for that dress maybe? Because I know some of her costumes have definitely been used like that. So really quickly, we're gonna round this off with a couple of my favorites here, which is like costumes that literally got used for other characters. So this outfit, which I think is going in A tier because I think it's really pretty, especially this close-up of like the headpiece. This became Ryo Chuchi's design for the Clone Wars, which I really like her design, so that's very fitting and fun. In B tier, we have the infamous Bail Organa's like Alderaanian like aide from Revenge of the Sith. She wears this dress instead of Padme. It's very pretty, but it's, again, like in my mind I see it and I think like Senate aide instead of senator, so that's kind of why I think a little bit like it's a less gorgeous, stunning Padme dress. And then this dress, which is so iconic. I'm putting this in S tier actually, because it's just such a pretty design. This is obviously like Duchess Satine. But yeah, this was not all. There's so many Padme pictures out there. But this was just some, and especially wanting to highlight some of the ways that Padme's looks over the years have kind of been recycled in a way, or like unused concepts have been recycled for other characters, because I think that that's just one of like the fun things about Star Wars. So in terms of that, we had no D tier because they're all pretty in their own ways and for their own reasons, and it's just some of them feel more like Padme dresses, some of them I think are more like impressive and like just stunning for different reasons. Obviously some of these are more like Queen Amidala versus in episode 2 they wanted really badly to pivot towards a like younger, how like more like the femininity of Padme, and then in episode 3 it's a lot more, things are a lot more severe, muted. She's got very specific silhouette because she's hiding a pregnancy. Like she's had a very different visual story for each film, and you can kind of see that in some of the designs. That's basically that's kind of the video. I think this has been very fun, and I hope that you have enjoyed watching this. It's a very low stakes video for May the 4th, but I hope it's been a fun little view. If you agree with my opinions, feel free to comment down below. And if you disagree and maybe you think I have trash opinions, I would love to hear what you think are the best Padme looks or what you think are the worst Padme looks. Happy May the 4th. May the Force be with you, and like, comment, subscribe.